Hey guys and girls in high wind, this is Grounded Sky Flying High. And so today I want to talk about Ultimus 7. There's a new guide out from the Pants of Hulk Alliance, and they agree with me on a lot of this, so I hope it helps you too to hear about it a little more. You gotta get these characters up to about 90k, 100k to get through 100% in U7, I think, unless you're maybe combining a bunch of teams at different power levels just below that or around that. So you kind of do it with Dark Dimension 3 in mind as well. Tunes that'll work well on both. Dark Dimension 3, you're kind of just chipping away at it every day anyways, so you could bring in a lot of different characters and they'll still kind of just chip away. But, you know, I'll start with Global, right? Because Global gets you through half of Dark Dimension 3. And right now, some of the meta is set for that in Ultimus 7 as well, I think. Plans of Hulk agrees with me, folks. Aim security, highly recommended. She will taunt and heal herself while also healing Scientist Supreme if she's next to her. She'll also pass out slow with her passive and any negative effects that she gets hit by with her passive if she's over 75% health. She'll pass out slow with the basic. So she's really good. The other synergy nice thing she gets with Scientist Supreme is Scientist Supreme will, when she does her flip, she'll give herself regen, but she'll also give aim security regen for 2 turns. So that's another health benefit they give for synergy. That's 2 so far on healing. And then the third, she does the hurt heal, which hurts the team with the debuffs until she flips it, but it doesn't hurt AimSec or herself, so that's another heal that they get between each other. And then Scientist Supreme's passive, she gives aim security energy every time, and if you max it, it's 1 or 2 energy every time. Plus, if you max her passive, it will revive aim security with 30% health. That's a third of her health back instead of the usual 20 for, other characters. So the 2 of them together, I can't recommend it enough, especially if you're free to play or a dolphin, you're not a whale. Man, these 2, fantastic route to go. Now, if you don't go that route with aim security, you could go another route with a tank, and that's Colossus, Phoenix, and Scientist Supreme. Only problem with that is Phoenix does not, she's not going to last you the entire U7 run unless you keep reviving her, recharging her with blitz recharges, raid refills, the health refills. So that's kind of limited. So that's why I use her kind of as a boss killer. I use my Tech Bling team, Aim Security, Scientist Supreme, Shuri, Ultron, with Phoenix in the middle as the boss killer. And then if she dies, and summons Dark Phoenix, she's going to kill the node usually, and then you could just bring her back later if you need another boss killer for some reason. So she's really good for boss killing, and she's also good for Dark Dimension 3. And, I'm doing a lot of tech gear, so I accumulated a lot of mutant gear, and I know she's the MVP of Dark Dimension 3, so Phoenix is a no-brainer too, I think. Shuri goes well with any team, let alone global teams. She's going to give you defense up right away, right at the beginning of the match, every time. You got to use that strategically, though. You don't want to burn it at the end of a match, and then you don't have it the next one in raids. So, and her heal's good too. Her heal's really good. You got to just get used to using it instead of using the Minerva's heal. So, who I recommend, Aim Security, Scientist Supreme, Shuri, Phoenix, and maybe Colossus if you're going to use Phoenix a lot, especially, or if you have good reds on him or whatever it may be. Now, another route you can go to is another tech would be Vision, and then he always gives defense up to Aim Security, Scientist Supreme, and Shuri, and then Phoenix is your damage dealer. But, he's kind of more utility in my opinion with Ultron. Now the thing about Ultron, man, he's not as good on later nodes, folks. Sorry. Those later node enemies are like 80, 90k, and then the super late ones are 100k. It's until he gets red stars, it's not going to cut it. He can at max get around like 67k with gear tier 14. Plus his bots man, you got like 10 characters on the field. It's going to make you take 10 turns. That's why people time out so dang much with him. It's just so many turns to get through. It's tedious. He's still good though, you know. His ultimate only tickles the enemy on those later nodes too. So he goes good with villain tech, which is Scientist Supreme and aim security, because he will increase positive effects for a duration of 1. By the way, Scientist Supreme does that with that flip to aim sec 2, so you kind of already have that with them, but you get it even more with Ultron. So look at Ultron right now, in my opinion, as the training wheels in U7 until you get your teams way, way up on gear, except for him, and then just put him on your team B. You know, he doesn't have enough power maxed all the way out right now. He just doesn't. Makes you take too many turns. And his tech gear is the most for any tech character, pretty much. So, for that same amount of tech gear, you could have done 2 or 3 of these tech characters. That's another reason I don't think you should max Ultron. He's your training wheels, training wheels, training wheels. I already went over Colossus. Falcon, a lot of people like Tech Wing. Mr. Sinister, if you're doing Mutant Squad, can be great. But he has the same problem Yo-Yo does. You can't farm either of them. So you can't bring them up on stars, you know, unless you're a whale, until they're farmable. So he's good. It's just, I like to have a lot of stars, a lot of health on my characters to where they'll last. But a lot of people are using him in Dark Dimension 3 as well. He heals mutants. He has synergy with mutants, so he's going to go with Phoenix and Colossus pretty good. So these are kind of like trios that I kind of mentioned. And this is the one I recommend the most. Aim Security, Scientist Supreme, and Shuri. Yo-Yo, she goes real well with Black Bolt, so she's not necessarily like a global be-all, end-all must-have. But she is with Black Bolt for some people because they have her up. So for Yo-Yo and Mr. Sinister, I think what would be ideal is 5 reds full. Because I had another character like that, you know, a Gear Tier 14, Symbiote Supreme, and you max all the abilities, it's around 90-something K, so you can get her up to that if she's 5 red, same with Sinister. So, that is global. I'm going to go move on to the other kind of more easy one, City. This is it, City. You can bring these guys up on reds now with the Wakanda event. They're kind of all farmable in a way. Symbiote Supreme, just hit those milestones, just like Coulson and Captain Marvel. You're going to get him, you know, to 6 stars eventually. I did dolphin out on him because I pulled those reds, the 5 reds actually, and then upgraded him to 6. So I had to do it now. So he was useful, and he is real useful. So he's been awesome in Dark Dimension 3 with Venom. Just the 3 of these guys, as much as possible, folks. Until there's some other kind of city meta, this is it. Now, where it gets tricky, in my opinion, is Cosmic. Because the thing about Cosmic, there's about to be the amazing Cosmic team coming out. And if you're not unlocking Ebony Maw this first round coming up, you're going to be waiting about 3 months. It's like August or September, he's coming again. But the thing that makes him so good, look at this special. It gives offense down 2 turns, defense up 2 turns. That's a special. Alright, that's like better than Shuri's in a way because it gives offense down too. He also has decent speed like Shuri, so he's going to get that at the beginning of every match. So he's kind of like the Cosmic Shuri in that way. But he's also like Minerva. He's going to replace Minerva for some people. He can't revive like Minerva, but he can still, if you add this up, it's 4 additional times, he can steal 15% health and bypass heal block, and then this attack redistributes a maximum of 25% of his max health. So that's awesome. He's more farmable than Minerva already, because you just got to farm Inhumans, 5 Inhumans, including Black Bolt. So you don't have to have, you know, Yo-Yo up on stars. You can just really farm the crap out of Karnak and Crystal, and you'll get them. So if you don't get them this pass, don't feel bad. I'm not going to get them either, but you'll get them the second pass to 6 if you start now. But you got to start farming him now. Hopefully 6, right? So I think he's a lock. Thanos, because of that, is a lock too now. Dark Dimension 3, it's not some easy thing to get through. You're going to chip away at it. So why not get the best tank you can for Cosmic right now? Really the only tank for Cosmic right now that's worth a dang is Thanos. And he's going to be on one of the best teams, so you might as well do his stuff now, I think. So that's a Mystic, and Ebony Maw is a Mystic. So the problem you're going to run into is if you're in a rush to get into Dark Dimension 3, you're inevitably going to do Hela. That's a Mystic. Thor is a Mystic. Loki's a Mystic. You're going to do maybe 1 or 2, 3 of those. A lot of people did and are doing that. That's a lot of your Mystic Unique stuff gone. Poof, gone with the wind. So if you're not already at Cosmic in a month or two, don't worry about those guys. Don't max them out. Max out Thanos and Ebony Maw instead. That'd be way more worth the wait for you to do that. Then Proxima, I think, also might be another lock because on her basic, she clears 2 positive effects from enemies. There's only so many characters in the game that do that, and she can slow and stun with her ultimate. So she's a good character. Just again, you gotta start getting her up on stars to do stuff with her against super high enemies. So again, that 5 reds maxed would be 90k-ish. So Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Thanos are my locked picks. Oh, and Black Bolt. Black Bolt's got the highest damage of the game right now. Pretty high health, especially for what could be a squishy character. He's not squishy. And then there's a lot of the new meta, like Symbiote Spider-Man, just listed a bunch that had slow. He will, if the enemy has slow, he'll flip 1 negative effect on himself. So he has a cleanse built into his basic. That's cool. And it's 2 effects he will remove. I think it is, yeah. You flip another down here. So it's always flipping 2, and then you're clearing 2 with his basic. So you could just boom, clear a taunt with his basic. That's awesome. So that'd be my 5: Thanos, Black Bolt, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Hela. Now the rest of these, Invisible Woman might get Silver Surfer eventually, and that'll change. Captain Marvel's great on her own, so I wouldn't have any shame in picking her over Hela or something like that. If you're doing all the Black Order with Black Bolt, Minerva, I think she might fade because of Ebony Maw. The only edge she has on him is reviving, but she's not farmable. A lot of people got her at like 4 or 5 stars. So, and the rest of these, if you're just in a rush to get into Dark Dimension 3, do them. But nope, sorry, I don't know if I will or not yet. That's it though. Those are the teams that I recommend. So, just to say, as an alliance, you kind of got to balance working on war tunes and working on your Ultimus 7 tunes, because if you look at the rewards in Ultimus 7, you can multiply this out, but it's really T4 that you're getting out of it. Like, look at this. It's, 3 as number 1, and then 6 is number 1, and then 10 is number 1. You don't really need you don't need T3s right now, I bet. I have 15,000 of them. Purple gear orbs are nice. There's good rewards in here, but they're not as good as war rewards. That's kind of why I think you should focus on war rewards to always farm in that war store. Those war orbs and the mini uniques that pop up. Like if you're really good at war and you're kind of balanced all up and down on the war meta, then you can go in here and get the mini uniques if there's any in here. There's one. So some skill characters, Approximate Midnight skill. So that, and then when you go in this gold store, same thing. The supply store, there's a tech one, but I don't need that tech one right now because I got a lot of them. I need to call them the hammers for tech. It's really better, in my opinion, to narrow it down to like 2 traits. So I did bio and tech for a while, just over and over and over and over. That was for the symbiotes, and that was for my global tech characters that I mentioned. So that narrows it down. That way you're not using a ton of gold all the time. You can go ahead and get all of them that you see in the supply store, but you really got to balance your gold if you're going to do that, because then you'll not be able to bring up characters or get purple gear you need as much. It's balance, Then the other thing is those events, those gear events. They did one for Valentine's Day with Cyclops. I think they did one for Christmas, and then now they did one for the anniversary of the game. So what you do is every time you do a blitz battle, they give you credits for that, and you open an orb, and then it gives you another milestone to get. All the way at the bottom of those milestones, you get mini uniques for every class if you do them all. So last time I did them all. So you start at the beginning of the week, you do all the regular milestones, then you just use crappy characters to drop all the way down to tier 1 or 2, and then you'll be able to just rinse repeat that over and over all throughout the week as much as possible, and you'll get all those mini uniques. And that's really the way you get the most mini uniques in the game, other than winning war and the supply store. So, one last thing I'll say is, kudos to Pants Hulk, man. They put out this guide. I like it. Like, if you go in here, you can actually on your phone click these links, these YouTube links on the left. It'll show you examples in YouTube with a low power team. Like, they used a Brotherhood on a node. Like, so if you're in a lower alliance, that's one option you got. Mid power, high power. It gives you a good kill order list. I've tried some of them and they work really well. There was one or two I was like, maybe I would have done that differently, but it still worked out. So these kill orders are good, and the notes about them are good as well. And then the recommended teams on the bottom, it's pretty much what I mentioned, and I was flipping through them, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, Defenders was on one of them. All of a sudden I started seeing this on a bunch of the harder nodes, and I was like, yep, what did I say? I've been saying this ever since U7 started. This is Tech Bling right here. You got AIM Security, Scientist Supreme, both 100% free to play, farmable characters you can bring up on Reds with the Wakanda event. And then you got Black Bolt in the middle is who they have, but you can put, like I said in the videos, you can put any damage dealer there. I've put Phoenix there, I've put Venom there, I put Vision there, even though he's a little more utility, and I talked with my alliance before this came out about putting Black Bolt there with all the slow to help his basic. So, boom. A great alliance. Pants of Hulk agrees with me that Tech Bling is an awesome team, period, folks. So give them a try. And now I have dropped Ultron for some stuff completely to do the symbiotes with them. So, this is a good guide. Check it out. The MVP page has some good stuff that I went over, but in more detail. And then if it'll let me click over, look, there's only 2 tanks. If you're a traditionalist like me, you want a tank, Thanos should be over here, because, he's coming with much better stuff. So AIM Security's there. She's the first one listed. She works with Supreme. Everybody uses Supreme. Get AIM Security, folks. I'm telling you, she's so worth it. If not, you got High Reds or whatever on Colossus, and that's your dude. You love X-Men. Beast is coming. Do Colossus instead, but I think a tank is worth it because they have great synergies with their meta counterparts. And then, these alts, they're good, they're okay. If you got High Reds or you find a good combination that works for you and your playing style or whatever, do that. And they give you kind of a map to work this out. I like this much better than other infographics I've seen because this is the way I thought about it. 1 or 2. I've been doing 2 symbiotes, and then Scientist Supreme and Shuri, and then a tank, which is pretty much a mix of these 2. So we were on the same page there. And then this right here in the middle could practically be Tech Bling, with the right tank over here. So, and then I've heard a lot of people have been using this in my alliance and others. If you can get Black Bolt and Yo-Yo up and put them together, fantastic little duo there. So check out this guide, y'all. And I'll talk to you soon. This is Garnet Scott flying high. Hope you enjoyed it.